Oh, I guess the show's starting. Oh,
But that's all
special
right. It's me,
present.
you.
Me,
We
you.
got a special kind of friendship.
Your grammar
I'm
needs
not
work.
your friend.
Sure you are.
Good for you.
Fish
What?
buddy.
Oh, okay. That is bad grammar to put yourself before the other person in the sentence.
Um. Well, you're talking about what?
I was talking about the opening intro when he says "me and you." No, no, no. It's you and me.
Oh, shouldn't be you and I.
I want to drop us down just for a second. I love that painting.
Painting.
I do. There, he did. What I know is Drew did. I think 2 actual finished mock-ups. He did a bunch of like comps. And if you don't know what a comp is a composition piece where you just do the basics, sometimes in black and white. For me, like when I'm painting, and I've done comps in the past, they were this big, just little illustration. You take one big sheet of illustration board, and I always used Crescent, uh, and because I used airbrushing and acrylic paint, I always get the vellum surface because it really held the paint well. The paint could really get into the little nooks and crannies of the paper and hold its place. It didn't do like watercolor paper, which bleeds. And I do believe that it's vellum and canvas are the 2 things that Drew worked on. When he was doing most movie posters, mostly he worked on illustration board because it's naturally flat, and you don't want movie posters to have texture, the canvas texture. It looks bad. And so he mostly worked on that, and but it's a beautiful piece. And the other one he did, which if you guys go watch what's his name, the Aussie dude,
Minty.
does Minty's comedic arts channel. He actually uses the other movie art, poster art, which is his family sitting on the sofa, and it's still funny. I think it's even funnier than this one because this is just a nice composition piece. The other one actually has the mom sitting on the sofa with squid tentacles coming out of the pot, and I thought that was kind of fun that he put that on there. But this one got more attention because for Warner Brothers, and this is so weird because there's a whole backstory to this movie. Because Savage Tom Holland is best known for cartoons, and one of the best known characters he created was for television called Eek the Cat, which was a hit cartoon on TV in the 90s. And I admitted I watched it on Saturdays. I liked it. And it was way high energy, and it was great for having your kids watch. And so Sean was, I used to watch it with my son Sean all the time. And, but anyway, it was a fun cartoon. And anybody who's ex-gen to going into millennials should remember that cartoon. So let's see, what do we got here?
If it was shown in your country,
right? Snortopus. The one thing I love about the interweb is even if it's not shown in your country, since 1995, people have slowly been able to access shows that were never available. Like Minty talks about it all the time, that there are movies that he had heard rumors about, but they had never seen in Australia. But thanks to the way things work now online, they have better access to things and not being blocked by their country's laws and shit. I was watching this again yesterday. There's one line every 60 seconds. The movie holds up. It's an absurd movie. It is like it's borderline dreamlike in some of the things that it does. But I will tell you that Savage Tom Holland based the screenplay off of his short film, that Henry Winkler saw, The Fonz. He had seen it and really liked it. And the ironic part is Tom Holland thought it was savage. Steve Holland. Anyway, he thought it was dramatic because it was talking about one of the most painful experiences in his life. And whereas Henry Winkler took it as a comedy and thought it was one of the funniest things he'd ever seen. And that's Holland right there. And basically said, I'm going to pay for an office for you to write a full screenplay on this. And he paid for it at Paramount. Now, even though this was at Paramount, they ended up selling it to Warner Brothers. And Warner Brothers was the production company and distributor for this movie. Yeah, there you go, John. See, right there, I was just telling Anima before the show that the two quotes from this movie that are constantly being said to me in conversations, it's always the same two. Number one, that's a real shame when folks be throwing away a perfectly good white boy. That's like my favorite line in the film. And I fucking laughed out loud when I heard that in the theater. I'm like, that's a fucking great line. That's like something like you would see in a Mel Brooks movie, you know? And, but the one that's more beloved for some reason, and I do get it, is I want my $2 from the site.
Maybe that's because he's based on a real paperboy.
Well,
kept pestering the director.
It's based on real people.
Yeah.
And it's true that he made this short film. Henry Winkler loved it. He finished the script and they sold it, not to Paramount, but to Warner Brothers. And they picked up the film, but they were kind of wanting the more of a coming of age comedy, not a zany, weird, surrealist film, which is what this is. This movie's really fucking surreal. And because there's like a dreamlike quality to some of it, especially when the animations come to life from his artwork. I think where the film fails is within the writing. I think it lacks the consistency of what Lane is, John Cusack's character. You just don't really see who he really is and what he does. We find out that he plays saxophone just from one scene at the dinner during the montage. You know, because there is a montage. This is an 80s movie. There's a montage.
Gotta have a montage, yeah.
I consider it a better montage than others because it's not showing him learning how to fight. But it does show him a little bit learning how to ski. But mostly it shows him hanging out with this French girl and falling in love with her. And finding out, yeah, it really, you know, and it's true, he really wanted to delete himself because he felt so broken by his girlfriend breaking up with him for the ski captain, the captain of the ski team. Really happened. Really fucking happened. And it kind of like blew my mind. And the Paperboy is based on a real psychotic kid that was constantly haranguing him over the newspaper, paying his newspaper. Now, I don't know if that was when he was a kid or if it was later on, but it is based on a real kid. And the kid they cast in that part, like
he goes for serial killer, and it really works.
He did. He pictured that his character was a serial killer, and so he goes overboard in this role, and it with so much relish. Like when he is on top of that fucking station wagon, just slapping the shit out of it with his fist in the newspaper, he actually broke the fucking windshield, and they had to like pay to have it fixed. He was really fucking method. He was going all out method in that role.
Now, in lieu of that, all things about the kid, look what he got here. Devil Martin giving you your $2.
Nice, Steve.
Thanks, Steve, bud. Thank you so much, man. For that one, I'm going to give you this one. I don't get to play it very often. It's one of my favorites. It's not from the movie.
What's the matter? You scared? Noticeably? I'll say. Now stand back. I gotta practice my stabbing. No, please help.
I don't know why I found so funny that line. Practice my stabbing.
I practice my stabbing. The insanity of that is what makes it so
Yeah.
funny. Like, who fucking practices their stabbing? But thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your $2. We appreciate all
John
the
Whitaker
support you
is
give.
giving you another $2.
Time for everyone to pay their $2. Goddamn right. You goddamn right.
Oh, what should you play? What should we play?
I gotta
for?
find something here. What do I want to play for that one? Oh, good grief. Good grief. So many good ones. Okay. We haven't used this one in a while. It's another favorite of mine.
What? You didn't really think we'd kill the fucking koala bear now, did you?
Fucking koala bear. Thank you, John. Thank you, D. Bud Martin. You guys are awesome. So where was I? I know I talked about the two lines of dialogue that everybody remembers, the two main quotes.
The white boy and my $2.
Broken garage window. Oh my God. The garage window is another great one. Also, one of my favorite moments is like throughout the film, you never really get to know the brother. He's just this weird fucking kid. Now, they get it wrong, and they should have gotten it right. That I actually have done this myself. But what I did was I would go in to the cereal box and I would dig out the prize. And I would dump all the cereal into a bowl, get the prize, and try to pour that back in. And it never fits again. It bulges for some reason. It's really weird. And the other thing is if you had to get so many box tops or, not coupons, but the little, because the box tops showed one thing, but then there was sometimes you had to send in a thing from the back and you'd cut it out. And inadvertently, I have cut through the plastic of the inner bag and had that happen where cereal fell out. And in fact, the worst thing that happened was I think it was Cheerios, where I cut the coupon off the back and cereal was open and it didn't spill out, but we got insects in it. So we got those little roly-poly bugs that you'll find. They're not maggots. They're just little mealworms in your food. It scared the shit out of me when I poured some out and I'm like poured the milk in, got my sugar, and I'm looking at it like, what are those floating in my milk? And my brother Mike goes, those are worms. And I'm like, I took a bite. I remember that moment to this day. That was in Phoenix. That grossed me out, man. I poured it all out. Oh my God, that's so gross. The movie confirmed my love for Diane Franklin. Yes, Diane Franklin, the girl known for accents. And she does not speak fluent French, as Anima found out. Because she was like, she does that really well, that accent, and was speaking some French and she only learned it for the film.
She's absolutely believable, though.
Yep. And of course, the movie I remember for other than this, of course, is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. She's one of the princesses. And she's also another film, too, where she kind of ends up being the villain by the end of the film, which is The Last American Virgin, which is one of my favorite 80s films. I fucking love that movie. And apparently, from what I've read, the original movie made in Israel, and Mephisto was talking about it too, was that it was a big hit. And they brought it to America and made it about American culture. And so it changed some of the feel of the film, but it's still the same film about teenagers coming of age. And it's a sex comedy, which is important to young men. Sex comedies are awesome for us. We love those things. And I actually saw the movie when I was right before I was still 18. I saw it when I was just about to turn 19. I'm pretty sure that's right.
You know,
So
I never liked them.
What?
I know I'm weird. Those sex comedies.
You
I've
never liked who? Oh, sex comedies. I don't mind them when they've got a purpose. When they've got a purpose. And in this film, it's a bunch of guys that don't want to become men without having lost their virginity. And I get that. I personally didn't give two shits about that because I lost my virginity at 13 and with an older girl.
Well, you didn't lost it. It was stolen from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also didn't fight or resist. But I did have an embarrassing moment, which I've told before. I'm not commenting on koala bears being Australian, but they are not real bears. No, they're not. They're in the marsupial family, right?
Yep.
I remember those days when cereals used to have those toys. And yeah, my favorite toy when I was a kid, and they still make it, by the way, is Freakies. And it was another sugary cereal. I mean, like the best cereals when I was a kid that I fucking ate all the time was Freakies, all of the Universal Monster cereals, Count Chocula, Frankenberry was my favorite, and Boo Berry. And then they had the werewolf one, which I can't even remember what the fuck that was. And then I also liked Quisp and Quake. And Quisp is still made. Quisp is the little alien with the propeller on his head. They still make it. And basically all it is Captain Crunch, but instead of as being the little barrels, it's little flying saucers. Franklin played Princess Joanna in 89. Yeah, that's what I brought up.
We said that, yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, we have Penny in the house.
Hi, Penny. Yeah, we had a similar experience.
Yeah, I mean,
We quit after like 20 minutes or something.
I didn't find it to be a bad movie, but at some point I got bored and my head was going down.
I want to go into some of the problems with the film that I think if they had done this, I think it needed another rewrite to focus on his talents, because that to me is the driving force of his character, not just the love for this girl and wanting to get her back or wanting to self-delete because he lost her. To me, I think the film needed to know more about him as a creator, because Lane is based on Holland himself and his, passion for drawing. We learn in only one scene at the restaurant, he plays the saxophone. I'm like, what the fuck? Was he in band? I don't remember that being shown. Just little things like that annoy me with writing, that you throw these things in all of a sudden. They're like good at this thing. And by the way, the film I consider doing instead of this one is another Savage Holland film, which is One Crazy Summer, which is, in my opinion, a sequel to this movie. It's a quasi sequel because it's, again, based on his own experiences. And so it's the same fucking character, and it's being played by John Cusack. And there was a lot of negativity, supposedly from Cusack, about this film, which I think got overly exaggerated. But I can see why he felt duped by this film, because he was expecting this other film. But I'm like, how could he expect that? Because he was in it. And the movie's zany. How can
a
you
lot of
not know
actors
that?
don't like watching their own performance, so
Well,
I'm
that may
guessing
have
it
something
was
to do
more
with it
that than
too.
anything else. And he was
But the
19
fact
when
is-
he made this. He was still growing as an actor.
Kid.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And he basically makes another film with Holland. So clearly he didn't have a fucking beef with him, like they tried to make it out like, because it's not true. They did not have a beef with one another and are still quite friendly with each other. But in fact, Holland later, when he heard about this, was shocked by it. And he says, but we're very good friends. And he talks highly of the film. And I think that it was an experimental movie. This is an experimental movie because it's just weird. And I think that if you take it for what it is, you can enjoy it. But if you're going in expecting something else, you're not going to enjoy it. This movie is zany. Some people have referred to it as the what's the word I'm looking for, where you're making fun of other movies.
Parody.
a parody. That some people call it a parody of the teen movies, and I'm like, no, it's not. This is really a movie based on real shit, but it's told from a guy who I'm not going to say is an unreliable narrator, but he's kind of an unreliable narrator in it because he's a little bit fucking crazy himself. You
Everything
don't
is
do
just
what he
so-
does in life.
I don't know, over the top too much.
And that's you. I personally kind of enjoyed the humor. I liked that offbeat shit.
Give me a second here. Because I didn't know about Savage Stephen Holland. After hearing you say that he's a great cartoonist, the thing is, this movie is a live action cartoon. That is what it is. Now it makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's a live action cartoon with
Still don't like
cartoon
it.
in it.
Yeah.
But also, just so you know, the girl that sings the theme song at the prom, that is Elizabeth Daily.
Yep.
She and one more actress are both voice actors and have worked on some of the same cartoons together, and they have very similar voices. She's famous for playing Tommy, and the other girl is better known for playing Bobby Hill in the King of the Hill series. But she also worked on Rugrats and the other shows too. But they both have that same kind of voice, that kind of scratchy, and so they sound like boys, little boys. And that's why they had so much fucking work playing kids, little boys, all the time. And she is a little sex kitten too, in that little dress. She's a cute little thing.
Okay, read this.
But
this makes sense.
No, the pretentious stuff, yeah, definitely came later. The reason why it happened was because this movie, as some people have said, kind of pigeonholed him for this kind of comedy. But I'm like, I don't believe that, because he was already in the movie. What do you call it? We just did it on Wednesday. The Sure Thing. And The Sure Thing is a bit more of a dramedy. It's a comedy, but it has more serious subjects in it. And that was right before this movie. And then this movie comes out as Zany John Cusack comedy. And then he did one more with Savage Steve Holland, which is a really good film called One Crazy Summer. I kind of wish I'd done that one, but I feel that I'm OCD, so I got to do them in order. So we'll probably do One Crazy Summer next time. And there are so many people in it because they have a lot of the same cast in the film. You've got the mom, Laura Waterby, of the creepy fat kid. He's also in One Crazy Summer, as well as the guy that plays his best friend in this, Curtis Armstrong. And Armstrong is Booger. He's best known for stuff like that, but he plays another similar character in One Crazy Summer. But the guy that actually kind of plays his best friend in that is Bobcat Goldthwait. And Goldthwait was hilarious in it. And I'll save this story because there's a great little behind the scenes story from that movie involving Demi Moore and Bruce Willis, because he opened his fucking mouth and put his foot right in it. And it's a fucking funny behind the scenes story. David Ogden Stiers, look, if you grew up in the 80s, you fucking love David Ogden Stiers. I mean, everybody knew him from MASH. And I know him from all the other shit that he did, from Night Court to Star Trek Next Generation. He is just a very good fucking actor. And to have here, going in the cabinet and pulling it out, and every single box has been cut. But the problem
Even
is
the cat food.
Yeah, the cat food. Oh, also John Cusack puts the cat food in his own cereal bowl because he's so out of focus on what's going on. And he's about to eat cat food with milk. And I'm like, holy shit. And of course, he never does take a bite because something happens. Curtis Armstrong has made a career of being Curtis Armstrong as Booger. Yeah, I think one of the best characters that he plays is a voice character, which is Steve's best friend on the show American Dad. and I love his voice characterization. And yeah, he plays a version of himself all the time, or a variation of Booger. Stephen Wright as a radio DJ is amazing in one. Oh my God, yes, because you constantly hear him throughout the movie. Anima can't stand him, and he is one of the driest comics I've ever seen. He's the guy who says, I bought some dehydrated water, but I didn't know what to mix it with." That guy. Parts of the film were shot in Atlanta, Brighton, and Snowbird. Actually, a lot in Utah. They shot a lot of stuff there. And then, of course, yeah, in Virginia Avenue and Glendale. We can stop putting Gambit's information up on screen. I've said that before. Just that's for the chat. So this guy right here is a piece of shit in real life. That is Dan Schneider. You would know him from Nickelodeon and also from that documentary about inappropriate sexual behavior by some of the adults at Nickelodeon. And he's one of them that has had a microscope put to him for some of the shit he did with claims of grooming.
And the other G word that doesn't have a G in it.
Yep. So he's kind of playing a character that's kind of like him in real life, kind of skeevy. And Yuji Okamoto is in this too, by the way. He plays a guy that learned English by imitating Howard Cosell. The two Chinese guys, one doesn't speak English, is driving the car, never talks, and then he is always talking like Howard Cosell. I thought that was funny. And he, of course, you know from the second Karate Kid movie when they had to go to Okinawa. And he ended up reprising the role in the Cobra Kai series. It was good to see him. I think he's a good actor, man. But really, the best part of this movie is, and it doesn't really start gelling as a story until you start seeing Diane Franklin's Monique interacting with John Cusack's Lane. And they start, because you see her like looking at him and smiling all the time. Every time she sees him, it makes her smile. And she's clearly miserable. And she has one of the most fucked up lines in the film with her French accent, talking about how Ricky is constantly got his nutsack on her. He's always touching me with his nutsack. And I'm like, I remember going, ooh, ooh.
With his testicles. No, his
testicles. His testicles. But the funniest part is, like, she's actually means something else. And he goes, testicles. And she goes, yes, he's always putting his testicles all over me.
Like an octopus.
Like an octopus, his and he goes, oh, fingers, tentacles. Yes, that's what I meant. Yeah. I love the stovepipe hat that his buddy wears. It's a throwback to the Beatles for me. And I think that's why it's in the film. Because in the movie Help, was it Help? Yeah, it was Help. There's that scene where they're going skiing, and somewhere in, I'm assuming, Greenland or something like that, because they're doing, playing a winter sport that's normally known up in the Scandinavian countries and places like Greenland. They had stovepipe hats on for the skiing scene. And this guy also based on a real guy, and the way he got the part was he made fun of the director to his face. Like, who's the chubby kid? He was the director, and he liked the way he said it so much that he made him the bully. That's how he got cast, by insulting the director.
He bullied his way into the movie.
Now, Kim Darby plays Ginny Meyer.
Mav here.
Oh, hi, Mav.
Yeah, he cannot join us today, but okay. You are being sorely missed, my friend.
Hey, Slasher Fred's here too. I just saw that. What's up, buddy? Who else have I not said hi to? Alpha's here. What's up, Alpha? Anybody else? I'm scrolling through to see if I can see anybody. That's it so far. Is that it? D-Bud, Whitaker, Penny. I said hi to Penny. And Read by Nature. Hi, Read. All right, good. Good. So, Damian Slade is the kid who plays the paper boy. And I don't know, did he ever do anything else? Let's see. He's
He's brilliant in this.
it's like the last thing he worked on was in 2013. He did a little short film called Ushers. But he was in the Wonder Years. Back to the Beach. I remember that movie back in 87. Not a very no. Did he do anything else? Let's see. Nope. Doesn't do producing or writing. Like he had a TV series that he was a writer on called Untreated. He was also an executive producer on it. Did 5 episodes. Never heard of it. Between 2011 and 2012. And then he worked on a short film in 2013. Nothing after that.
Only 5 episodes. Pretty bad.
Yeah. So this character is clearly a nod to the character that he made famous, which is, of course, in the movie. I just forgot the name of the film. Porky's and Porky's 2. That's Chuck Mitchell. And it was Porky's and Porky's Revenge were the 2 films. And he played the guy that owned Porky's. And I'm trying to find that character's name. Oh, his name was Porky. So there you go. And he plays a jerk that owns a pork burger place. Now, originally, the famous animated scene with the hamburger, it was originally shot as a completely different thing where a rat fell into the fryer and got served to somebody at their table. And then his imagination has it come to life and all that shit. And they said it was too gross and too fucked up. And so they reshot it and did the whole hamburger singing a Van Halen song. Also, I do love the visual effects that is shown at the end of the film when you see the brother got his fucking shuttle, actual working shuttle, and launches it out of the garage. And that's the payoff for the brother. The whole movie's been collecting coupons and box tops and shit. She is actually based on his real mom because she was a very experimental cook and sometimes it didn't work. And so he wanted to do a crazy parody of his own mother in this film. And of course, Ogden Stiers is based off of his actual dad.
Yeah, I don't know if she's written that way or if she just can't act, but she's so bad.
Well, she's supposed to be that way. That's her character in this. I think one of my favorite moments in the film when I saw it in the theater, but I don't like it now, is when they go up to the ski resort together, Lane and Charles. They get up there, Curtis, and he starts like talking about all the snow, pretending it's cocaine. Like we could make billions off of all the raw snow up here. And like when I was younger, I thought that was funny, but when I listened to it this time, I don't like drug jokes. I really don't. And so it didn't hit me too well watching it again. They also have a great actor in this too, playing the school teacher, Vincent Schiavelli. And he is such a weird fucking actor. Weird looking actor, but he's really good. We lost him back in the 2000s. But he was in a lot of cool movies, including One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He's one of the lunatics in the loony bin. But he was Dr. Kaufman in Tomorrow Never Dies, James Bond movie with Pierce Brosnan. And he gets hoisted on his own petard by Bond, which is funny. He's also the subway ghost. I think this is the most memorable for me. He's the subway ghost in the movie Ghost that tries to teach him how to do things because he doesn't like him and he's annoyed and he wants him to leave. And the only way he can seem to get rid of the other ghost is to tell him something. Now, this young lady right here, she was a beautiful girl. She really was. And what people remember her as is what's the character's name in Freddy Krueger movie?
His first
Nightmare on Elm
victim.
Street. Yeah, first victim. She has a name though, and the whole movie starts with her murder. She's the one killed in the bedroom that gets lifted up to the ceiling, and the boyfriend's like looking up at her as she's hanging from the ceiling, being held up there by the ghost or the dream monster of Freddy Krueger. I like that movie a lot. God damn. What year did that come out? That came out in 84. So I turned 20. I was 19, actually, I think, when I saw it. And I told Anima today, it is one of the two films that I regret when I went to see it in a theater. I closed my eyes. I closed my eyes for just a second. Right there at the beginning with him scraping all those fucking pipes down there. And it stressed me out too much. And I closed my eyes and I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why'd you do that? Oh, this is it. This is the cat food scene. I like this scene a lot. He's so occupied with the breakup that he hasn't noticed that he did a piss poor job of pouring cat food out and then poured cat food on the table and in his bowl. He just poured milk in it. It's like, oh my God, is he going to take a bite of that? And of course he doesn't because he gets distracted.
By the doorbell, I think.
The paper boy went in his $2.
Yeah.
Oh, both her parents are German immigrants. That's interesting. Let's see. Little eucalyptus chewers. That's right. He was in Risky Business. I'm not a big fan of that film. Gary, do you know the street value of this mountain? There you go. There you go. Yep. And I thought that was hilarious at the time, but now when I watch it, it's like, it's not all that funny. I mean, it's clever, but not that funny. Schiavelli's wife, Alice Beasley, was also a little weird looking, best known as the secretary in Moonlighting, where that was his wife? Oh, I know exactly who that is. Yeah. Really? That's an odd connection. The funny part of this is when you see this ugly, weird teacher ask Lane if he could ask his ex-girlfriend out. Be okay if I asked her out? Because that's the running gag through the film. Everybody's asking if they can ask her out, if it'd be okay. Let's see. He was also in Batman Returns as the organ grinder. Yep, the circus folk. They're just as bad as carnies, in my opinion. Risky Business. Okay, Slasher Fred. Forgot about that until you said it. Sorry, Gambit. The most iconic moment of Risky Business is the train scene. It's all about that train scene. Yeah, I have to agree. And the train scene. God, he was such a weird looking dude. He really was.
Yeah. Perfect.
So I need to go. Yeah. Well, it's sort of like the guy that was the teacher calling out names in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He was perfect as a teacher. Bueller.
Have we watched this?
Ferris Bueller? I think I did. I think we did.
I'm trying to remember. But
Yeah, that's exactly who I saw in my head. Yep, that's her. She's odd looking and pretty at the same time, kind of cute. She's toothy, got the big teeth. She was in a lot of stuff. Yeah, she was the aunt in Stuart Little. She was in Legally Blonde, a movie I oddly liked. I really liked that movie.
Really?
Yeah. I couldn't believe it either. I'm like, I can't believe I like this movie. It was just a well-told story. I liked it. Man, oh man. Try to look at some of the other stuff she was in. Oh, she was one of the voice actors for Recess. Again, which also had the girl that sings in this and the other chick that played the voice of Bobby Hill. Recess was a fun show. I watched that with Zoe. Yeah, Pamela Adlon. That's the other chick. She did one of the voices on the show. And she also was on Rugrats with the other chick. And if you ever watch the series Californication, she's one of the main characters on that series. And it was weird seeing her in that show because she constantly sounds like Bobby Hill to me. And so seeing a woman talking like Bobby Hill was weird. Now, I will tell you this, the hand-drawn animation done in this movie was done by the guy who created and wrote the film and directed it, Savage Steve Holland. And he worked along with another animator, Bill Kopp, to do. Basically, what I think he did is he did the main drawings, and then Bill Kopp was the tweener. If you don't know what a tweener is,
The what?
I highly recommend looking that word up, tweener. It's something that specifically relates to animation, hand-drawn animation.
Okay.
And when I got offered a job at Disney back in the 90s, I turned it down because the first thing I was offered was as an eraser. And I'm like, I don't know if it was ego or pride. I'd like to think it was pride and not ego that I turned the job down because I didn't really see that for somebody my age in my 30s starting out as. I just couldn't see me doing that. But that's how animators get started at Disney when it was hand-drawn animation. And to be honest with you, I would have taken a job and I probably would have only got to work on a handful of films before they stopped doing traditional animation. And then I would have been without a job. Where would I go? Fuck, man, who does it? Don Bluth Studios in Ireland is the only one I know of, and they haven't made anything in years. Oh yeah, the snorting the Jello was funny when I was younger. Not funny now to me. I don't like drug jokes. I really don't.
Oh, that was just gross.
He was basically Bluto from Animal House, another film you love. Here's some great art, and that was drawn by none other than Holland himself. He did all the hand-drawn art in this film and the animation. I love that his creature eats the bully, the jock.
It's kind of psycho, though, how he goes into his world and talks to them and interacts with them, and everybody's just looking at him like, what a weirdo. What's he doing?
Yeah, that's right. He was in Amadeus. His name is Stalin, right?
Yeah.
I just did search on Ben Stein because I remember he did something apart from act. He was a lawyer. That's right. He worked for the Nixon administration as one of the lawyers that defended him. But on YouTube, search up pops a pic of him as a kid with a giant afro. Yeah, he had very thick Jewishy hair. Speaking of that, because Mephisto is here, we owe him an animation. There it is. Boom.
Man, is there anything more common in these times than a rural Jew?
We also
The
owe
kid over to the
people-
right there with the flock of seagulls looking hair. And if you didn't know this, that hairdo was only used in the making of that video. It was done by the guy producing and directing it. And they have said that hairdo ruined the band.
Damn.
Because everybody expected it from that point forward. And it fucked everything up for everybody in the band. And so it killed the band. Now, I didn't know this, that according to an interview with Diane Franklin on the Retro Zest podcast, actor Yano Anaya, who played one of Johnny Gasparini's Paperboy gang members, also looped all of Damian Slade's dialogue as Johnny the Paperboy. And Anaya also played Bully Grover Dill in A Christmas Story. No, he played one of the bullies. My buddy Zach was the main bully. He played Scott Farquharson. Scott was the main bully. 1983, and young Michael Anthony in the music video for Van Halen's Hot for Teacher in 84. So I can't remember the name of the short film that Holland made that the Fonz, Henry Winkler, saw, that loved. But it just, just so you know, this movie would not exist if not for the Fonz, man. Henry Winkler. He was a power behind making this movie. And I think that if they had made the film more like the short film that Henry Winkler describes, because I've never seen it, I think it would have been a better film. I think that the zaniness of it that makes it like a live action cartoon is also its worst enemy for some people. It's why you two don't like it. I think that if they had stuck to it being a little more grounded in the storytelling, I think it would have done better. And I think, honestly, One Crazy Summer feels more grounded than this film. And maybe he learned something from that. I'm hoping he did. Because this movie tanked, by the way, if you didn't know that. It did nobody any fucking favors. It was a $3.5 million project, and it only made about 10.5 million box office. And
that's bad.
boy, oh boy, it was like Cusack was terrified of that. But then it got put on VHS. And guess what? The VHS was a hit. And the movie,
it doesn't strike me as a movie that you go to the cinema to watch it. It's made for home video.
Well, it works.
No, the 80s were full of this kind of movies on theater, and they were a hit. They were making bucks.
Most of them were hits. The next film was a bigger hit, and One Crazy Summer. And this film, I think, would have been a bigger hit if it had a little more cohesion in its story. And that's the weakest part of this. But yeah, so a lot of people don't know this, that the two guys who worked closest with Jimmy Kimmel, both of them who helped build his career, conservatives. And that, of course, is Ben Stein. And Ben Stein introduced the world to Jimmy Kimmel on his show, Steal Ben Stein's Money, which was I enjoyed watching that show. I wanted to see if I could, and my dad was actually better at that show than I was. Like Dad just fuck man. I don't remember a Jeopardy show that he didn't win good money. And I'm like, why don't you go on there? No, no, no. And I'm like, oh my God, Dad, you just refuse to achieve anything. So King of the Hill does not get the respect it deserves. It is a great sitcom. It just happens to be, hand drawn and animated. And I love the voice actors in it. They're so good, including one of your favorite guys, Stephen Root, who, of course, was Jimmy James on News Radio. He plays multiple characters on King of the Hill. Now, she's in the next movie, too. I think she plays his aunt in One Crazy Summer. She's what you refer to as an old broad kind of actress. She's good at playing old broads. And in this one, she's a bitch because she is knowingly abusing this French girl and misusing her by trying to groom her for her son.
Which is
creepy
gross.
shit. It's creepy. Read by Nature Stein was a speechwriter, ad economist in the Nixon admin. Yep, and he was a lawyer too. This movie came out of the same year as Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which also has Elizabeth Daily as Pee-wee's girlfriend Dottie. Yeah, God, I forgot about that. Yeah. It has one of my favorite lines in the film. I can't do Pee-wee's voice. I can do his laugh, but I can't talk like Pee-wee Herman. And I loved it when he's like warns her that, you don't want to run around with a guy like me. I'm a tough guy. And he's not. He's like the opposite of a tough guy. It's funny as shit. Also came out approximately when Rambo First Blood 2 was promoted everywhere. Not a fan of that movie. I've seen it multiple times. Not a fan. I got so irritated at the insanity of the action. Unbelievable.
Insanity.
It's so fucking unbelievable what he's doing in that movie. Like, it was ridiculous. Or as my buddy would say, redonkulous. The aardvark costume is fucking insane.
No, what is insane is that the neighbor has another one.
Yep. He clearly injected his high energy personality into those speeches. Oh, yeah. He is so high energy. Read. Bueller. Ben Stein is the most nonchalant, natural speaker I've ever heard in my life. In fact, I would say he sounds almost sarcastic or sardonic with everything he says, and he's being genuine because of his tonality. By the way, pause here just for a second because I really love this guy. Negron, he's a really good fucking actor, and he died young. He died in his 50s from cancer. There he is. Good fucking actor right there. Comedic actor. Any comedy benefited from him being in it. In fact, he's in that movie Dan Aykroyd did with John Candy where they live in a southern town and Chevy Chase and Demi Moore get stuck in the town and they can't get out of it because it's a fucking nightmare. He's in that one too. John Cusack. There we go. And what's funny is the director and the producer wanted John Cusack, nobody else. And the studio said no. No. And they only knew him from one thing, was one of the films where he played a minor character in, was it Risky Business, I think. Because Cusack was in that too. Yeah, and he goes, yeah, he's a nerd. He plays nerds. We need a kid that's a believable leading man. But then they finally acquiesced because he would not, he was unrelenting in his pressure that that's the only person to play this character. And they got him. Stick to your guns. A wooble.
It's a stupid word.
Bueller. Mike Score hated the video even more than Cusack reportedly hated this film. And later, it was proven to not be true. He says no, he had some problems with it that he's afraid he was going to get pigeonholed, and he didn't want that. But proof that he didn't hate it is he worked with Holland again in one of his next films, One Crazy Summer. I tried to fit every style of click into the 80s into the scene at school. Another part of kind of making to be a parody. And it's not really a parody. It is a parody of people. It's making fun of types of people. It does do that. But as far as a parody, it's not parodying any other movies. It's just the people are kind of parodies. They're caricatures. Like this girl. Just that would have been $13. So why don't you just pay me the $13 you would have spent on dinner?
John says the movie you're looking for is Nothing But Trouble.
Oh, Nothing But Trouble. Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, I ran that video. The director he personally blames him for destroying the band with the fucking hairdo. Cusack apparently detested Better Off Dead. That again, later proven not true. According to Holland, Cusack did not like the film and walked out of a screening. That was according to him, and that he yelled at him. But later, Cusack himself refuted that. He says that's not really what happened. He misread me or misunderstood what I was doing and saying. And so Cusack says that's not true. And not that I'm going to take one person's word over the other, but having been in situations where I've said things to people and then later hearing about what I said to somebody and going, that's not what I said or why I said it or how I said it. That's not true. And so I tend to take the side of John Cusack on that one, even though as a person, I think he's a piece of shit. He did that to try to, no, that's what I was talking about, John, is he was afraid of being pigeonholed into this style of movie, these kinds of comedies, and he wanted to be a serious actor. But look what happened, man. Within a couple of years, he did a great fucking romantic dramedy. Say Anything. I'm telling you, I fucking love that movie. Yeah, but
I'll be back. I need to see something.
okay. He did the yeah. So I will never trust you as a director ever again. So don't speak to me. Yeah, it's a lie. It's not true.
I'm not buying that.
I don't believe that at all because you worked with him a year later.
Yeah.
On another fucking romping comedy. It's kind of not a road trip, but they have to travel in it to go to a certain place, his childhood home. Winkler also had to get back the script from Rocky when Stallone wanted to go to someone else. Yep. They are dear, close friends to this day because they did the movie The Lords of Flatbush and became friends immediately, instantly. They just really like the cut of each other's jibs. You know, they like their attitude about things, you know, and their belief in acting and their beliefs in writing. And so they absolutely got along. And I've always liked Henry Winkler. I think his weakest film is still a good movie, Heroes. He did that with Karen Allen and Harrison Ford. I think that was Karen Allen, wasn't it?
I don't know.
77. No, Sally Field. I apologize. Sally Field. It was Henry Winkler, Sally Field, and Harrison Ford. And it's a very good film, but I think that it's a complete misunderstanding of Vietnam veterans.
Mm.
And I have a problem with films that do that, where they show PTSD in a negative light rather than as just what it is. Well, not apparently. There might be speculations about it. I don't know. That's how I first saw it. Some friends rented it to show me and found out I didn't know this film. Yeah. A lot of
Did you
people
like
came
it?
to it through VHS. I think Deepa did. I think I said something about that already. I love that show, Shanansky. I was a big fan of Win Bin Stein's Money. That was a good show. Better Off Dead was definitely a movie that became a cult classic, and it is. It has a big cult following. It was on cable. Like, dude, I'm telling you, Warner made its money back on this movie, which is clearly a good thing because I think that helped save Cusack. I'll take your word for it, though. Oh, John Whitaker, your dad and I would have got along, or maybe not. I've never lost a game of Trivial Pursuit. Ditto. Mac and I, nobody wanted to play Mac and me. They would not play us because either I knew or he knew. Mostly me. Like, and the funny part is I knew arts and leisure, I knew sports, I knew the science, or was it history? I can't remember all the things. And then when it got to entertainment, like, yeah, good luck beating me at that. And we would play like every fucking weekend that we went to Chris's house out by the lake. And Mac and I would always be on the same team, and we'd play Ultra Rob, Chris, or we'd have more people at the party and they would play. And we won every single game, every match. You could not beat the two of us. And by
that
myself,
was one of the games that I didn't mind playing, Trivial Pursuit.
I never
liked board games, but that one's fun.
I've never lost a game even on my own of Trivial Pursuit. And I don't win all the time on Jeopardy, which sucks because I wish I was that smart. My dad was. Now, as far as getting along with my dad, you probably would have. He's an old Army guy, a former cop, and he became an engineer. And he was a professor of history. And absolutely blew me away with how intelligent my dad was. And the joke is that my IQ is below my dad's and below my son's, just slightly. I still immense level IQ, but
yeah.
I would never.
What did your dad say? Sometimes it skips a generation.
And that's what my dad said to me. I said, well, my IQ is, depending on the test, if it goes to the 145 scale or goes to the open scale. In the open scale, I was 154. And on the 145 scale of it, I got a score of 142. And the only reason I missed 2 questions on that is because they were long form math with large numbers. And once you get to 3 numbers, I can't do it in my head. I'm not able to. I have that, I forget what it's called. It's like dyslexia with numbers. And I can't do math in my head with high numbers. I can only do it with the most, 2 integers and against 1 or 2 integers. And then I can do it in my head, but can't do it higher than that.
Yeah, most people work like that.
And I missed 2 questions because I didn't want to take the time to find a piece of paper to do the math. And I just did what you refer to as a guesstimate of what the answer would be. And I was wrong. 2 questions. So I missed 2 questions on the IQ test. Got everything else. Tubby Huss was my fave. He was amazing on Pete and Pete Don't Eat Metal.
What?
I don't think I know that, buddy. I'll have to look it up. I had that name wrong. The show was amazing. I watched it religiously. I'm a huge trivia and Jeopardy fan. I'm both. I love watching Jeopardy. And here's something funny. My ex-wife won on Jeopardy. She was in the teacher's edition back in the 2000s. And she took it. And it was so funny because Julia and Dale, it was the 20 teens. It was the 20 teens. And Julia and Dale watched the episode, knowing that was my ex-wife. And she called me afterward. We just watched your wife on Jeopardy. I went, oh, yeah? What'd you think? She goes, great. She knows her stuff. But yeah, she did that snort thing that, you did. And I wanted to punch her in the face too. And I'm like, yeah, when she snorts, I just want to punch her in the face because it's like, she would do that. She was beautiful, man. And then she would twist her face and look like you're an idiot and whatever. You don't know anything.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Yeah, that's and she would do that shit, and she would do the snorting when you were wrong on something or something she thought you were wrong on, and she would snort at you like you're an idiot, and I fucking hated her for that. And she did it during the interview, and because they always show that with the teachers, these interviews with them, and Julia's like, "Oh my god, I wanted to punch her right through the TV screen." I went, "Right, right. I'm not the only one. I can't be."
Yes,
Even
there's your burger
Charlie's
steam coming
joked
up,
about that.
Gary.
Yep. Again, it was originally a rat scene where it fell into the fryer and got put out on the table. That was
It's
too
still
gross.
pretty
So
gross.
they remade it with this Frankenstein hamburger scene, which I think works, and I kind of like the animation.
Yeah, but when he wants to go wash his hands and his boss tells him you can wash your hands on your spare time. Now go
on
throw
your
the
time.
patties. I'm
Yeah.
like, so gross.
Yeah. Oh.
I've worked in too many restaurants. That hit too close to home.
Well, that's why I want you to watch Waiting. Even though it's a comedy, I think it is the most honest depiction of what it's like working in a restaurant. And there he is from Porky's. I had the name wrong. That show was amazing. I watched it religiously. I'm a huge Trivia and Jeopardy fan. Gotcha. King of the Hill was popular in the mid 90s, late 90s into the 2000s. Because the 90s was his other show that was popular, which was called Beavis and Butthead. And the last movie he did was on the eve of King of the Hill, was Beavis and Butthead Do America. And then he was King of the Hill, and it was a big hit. And I'm still pissed this day they canceled it. I'm glad they brought it back, and it's not overly woke, and I like that because they tend to do that. Look what they did to Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh god.
Malcolm in the Middle was always woke.
Yeah, but the new one that they did was
the new
just
one. No. It was not about DEI shit, check boxes. The new one is. It's all about it. And I just got kind of tired of that. The other one had the dynamic of a more believable, weird family.
They just upgraded the wokeness.
They increased it and made it actual, like blatant in front of you. They're not even trying to hide it.
No, they're just.
I can tolerate wokeness. I can tolerate wokeness when it's mildly hidden behind good writing and good comedy or drama. I love Kim Darby's deer outfit. Yeah, it's cute. Ogden Stiers, not so much. Well, you're not supposed to like his costume. It's the aardvark. It's a fucking stupid thing. Yeah, and it's got a quasi Eddie Van Halen guitar. Got the whammy bar in the front. But still, I like it. Although I don't think the audio is very good with the Van Halen song. It's kind of muddy sounding. One has to remember that Rambo First Blood 2 created an outcry in Boston when and after it was released. I don't remember that. Look, Dottie, I'm a loner, a rebel. Oh, yeah, that's it right there from Pee Wee Herman. Thanks, buddy. That's it. Look, Dottie, I'm a loner, a rebel.
That's the second time he saves you.
Yep. That's why I like my fucking chat. These guys know their movies. I like that.
Yeah.
Vinkman's girl came in late and heard the part about nothing but trouble. There you go. Read by nature. Just saying hi. Because in Boston, there are racial attacks against Vietnamese refugees. Wow. Really? That's fucked up. I used to read in Ben Stein's voice in high school when I had to read out loud. That's funny.
I don't know what he sounds like, so.
Very droll.
Oh.
Bueller.
So, like Shanatsky, basically.
Very similar. I would say that Shanatsky has a little more animation to his voice. Ben Stein does not. Taylor Negron, yeah, that's him right there. Taylor Negron was the cousin of Chuck Negron. I didn't know. Lead singer for Three Dog Night? No shit. Wasn't Chuck Negron the one who caused the band to fall apart? One of the guys had a problem, and it ended up causing the band to break up. Yet I like that movie. It's weird as fuck, but I like that movie. I enjoy John Candy in it, playing two parts. He plays the twins, the brother and sister.
John Candy is
And-
always good.
I just fucking love John Candy. Dan Aykroyd with his penis nose, fucking killing it.
Penis nose.
Yeah, it was designed to look kind of like a penis because guys get those bulbous noses. The bulbousness of his nose looks like the end of a penis. It's fucking funny. Oh god, he is so skeevy. And then to find out the shit we know about him now. God damn, man. Like I'm going to look something up on him real quick. Hold on a second.
She is so cute, though.
Oh, she is so pretty. She was one of those girls. I like girls who don't tweeze their fucking eyebrows, that let their eyebrows just shine. Zoe used to be like that. She had big, thick, pretty eyebrows, and she fucking tweezed them pencil thin now.
Yeah, and pointing upwards. That's so weird.
Oh, they're Spock eyebrows now.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're just supposed to get rid of the stray hairs underneath. That's
And
all
I
you need to
keep
do.
asking her, because you've heard me say, like, who are you rebelling against? I don't understand some of your decision making. Because it's like you're rebelling, but I don't know who. You're not rebelling against me. Live your fucking life. But why you assault your own fucking beauty, it just blows me away.
Because she thinks she needs to be someone that she's not. And she's trying too hard.
Oh.
And it sucks.
So here we go. Dan Schneider, the former Nickelodeon producer behind hits like iCarly, The Drake and Josh Show, faces significant controversy due to allegations of toxic workplace behavior, sexual harassment, and the sexualization of child actors. Allegations of misconduct. Former employees and cast members have accused Schneider of creating a hostile environment. I'm always cautious with that because, millennials
Word against
and
word.
also millennials and Z-Gen with using, trigger words all the time, like
Fucking
toxic.
snowflakes.
Yeah, snowflakes. So it's really hard. Look, you're in a movie and TV business. There's going to be a lot of fucking shit that you might think is toxic being done and said around you. So I don't give two shit about that. But the defamation lawsuit in May 2024, Schneider filed a defamation lawsuit against the producers of Quiet on the Set. That's the documentary I told you about, alleging the series falsely implied he was a child sexual abuser. He argues the documentary conflated his workplace misconduct with the criminal actions of other individuals, irreparably harming his reputation. And I don't know if he won on that case or not. Documentary and apology. In 2024, docuseries Quiet on Set, Dark Side of Kids TV detailed these claims, including allegations that Schneider was blind to abuse by convicted sex offenders that worked on the set. Schneider issued a video apology for his embarrassing and regretful behavior, admitting he was a bad leader and apologizing for inappropriate jokes and any conduct that could have been misconstrued. And I'm just like, look, man, you let these, like, one guy was convicted and he's working on the fucking set, was a sexual predator. And he was his boss, and he would set it up to where they would get alone time to talk. And that's how one of the inappropriate relationships built. And the kid who played Drake, what is his name? Drake? The kid who played Drake on Nickelodeon, he finally, in that documentary, opened up and admitted to the fact that he had been RAPED'd by an executive. And that really kind of reminds me, because like when you see station wagons in movies, they often are the same station wagons because, the studios got free cars from the manufacturers. And so they would keep them on the back lot. And they didn't always have the same license plates because they would interchange them. And one of the things I used to do for fun is, I think it's a 1024 or 1028, where you do a call-in to find out about a license plate. And I had a buddy that was a cop, and I'd say, can you check on this for me? And I'd give him a license plate from a movie, and he'd tell me that it belonged to such and such studio. And I'm like, oh, fucking cool. Elizabeth Daily plays herself in the movie. Cool. You got to see it. Okay. Look, I like this film. And thank you, D-Bud, for answering that, because they were wondering. And I kind of got that from what you were talking about with the movie, that you sound like somebody who knows the film and likes it. Headed home from grocery store. Hey, I hope you got some gummy worms. I'm hungry. Henry Winkler as Dr. Ralphio in Ozarks and Parks and Rec is the top 3 character of his. Fight me. I'm not going to fight you, John. I like that character. I love Henry Winkler. Elizabeth Daily was also the voice of Buttercup on the Powerpuff Girls. That's right. Same fucking voice.
Man, you said
89
gummy worms, and it
degrees.
takes me right back to my childhood, because we used to buy those from the kiosk, because that's one sweet that you can eat while you're rowing a boat, because you don't need your hands to eat them.
Yep.
So we would all be in our little kayaks and have gummy worms hanging out of our mouth.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hello, Timmy.
Kitty is asleep on the desk.
By what name are you known? There are some who call me Timmy!
I like that version.
Yeah, I'm very fond of it myself.
What's Gambit talking about?
Where?
With Rambo 2.
Well,
Both Rambo 2 and Rambo 3 take far more fanciful approach, whereas First Blood 1 dived into a lethal territory. Well, look, Rambo didn't get good for me after the first film, because I liked the first film, until he did the updated film Rambo. And I fucking love that movie. When he fucking opens up on those fucking bad guys with that 50 caliber machine gun, and you see him obliterate their bodies, I was like,
that was crazy.
Yeah. That's kind of what it looks like. Wait a minute. What is this one? The problem is Gary had the answers. It's the questions he had the issue with. Oh, shut up. You got to put your answer in the form of a question. What is? Who is?
Gary Opardy?
Gary Opardy. Dyscalculia. That's it. Thank you, Tim. I have a form of dyscalculia. And it's the only thing I have an issue with is with integers of 3 or more, I can't do the math in my head. You know, it came out as well. Yeah. Tubby Huss played Artie, the nerdy superhero on Pete and Pete. Oh, okay. John Whitaker, who would you want to meet then? Ugh. See, let's get here. According to Savage Steve Holland, the film is mostly autobiographical. Yeah, he was suicidal after his girlfriend broke up with him. Yeah. Well, I'm going to get into that because it's not quite what you think happened. So she really did reach out to him, but she was not happy about this movie. So I wrote some notes on this. So let me just go ahead and read what I wrote. Now, what many of you don't know is that this film is based on a true story from the life of its creator, writer, director, and cartoonist Savage Steve Holland. He made a short film that I don't remember the name of, based on his own personal pain, and that he experienced as a teenager. And a lot like the character of Lane, his high school girlfriend really did leave him for the captain of the ski team, which left Holland devastated and struggling to deal with the hardship. Later, Holland explained that when his ex-girlfriend saw the movie Better Off Dead, she actually reached out and got in contact with him and said that she had no idea that the events of what happened had affected him so deeply. And in fact, she herself was shocked the ordeal left her in therapy. But that's a misnomer, that information, because what it was seeing this played out in a movie left her very emotionally bereft and broken by it. And she ended up going into therapy because of the movie, not because of what she did, but because what she did was put in a movie. But they did talk. I'm not sure about apologies being made, but they did talk, and they tend to stay in contact with one another to this day. That's what I've heard from him.
But needing therapy over a movie is weird. Do you have anything else in your notes?
Oh, you there, Gary?
Got to give me a minute. I lost connection. I had to reconnect.
You need to talk to the internet company.
Please take that comment down. Beavis and Butthead was a spin-off from the MTV animated sketch series Liquid Television. Yep, that's where they got their start. Also on MTV is where Office Space got its start. It's the animated bits. But with my Keepler, did you have my Keepler? Stephen Root nailed that character in the live action movie Office Space. Not to be accused with Malcolm in the Nation. Not going to say that on air. Shinatsky. David Ogden Stiers was also in the underrated comedy Tomcats. That was an okay film, yeah. Let's see. Well, with the new Malcolm, they just added 18 new boxes. Yep. I'm guessing someone like maybe Key and Peele has done a Malcolm X in the middle. But most of all, I would have liked to meet Elizabeth Daily. There's just 8 conversations going on at the same time. Malcolm X in the middle would be amazing. And it would star Michael Caine as Malcolm.
Mm.
And they would also bring in Martin Luther King, played by Sean Connery, with a hairpiece. Vince Stein later became known for doing his Clear Eyes commercials. Yes, that's right. OMG, Elizabeth Daily, I'm going to need to go into the woods now. Oh, shut up, John. Going to go spank it in the woods. I'm not sure I've watched the new Malcolm. It's terrible. It's terrible. Oh, this stop motion sequence is very neat. Yep. Now, he did not animate that. I think that was Cost that animated that. Easy days and clear night skies to the PCM tribe. Thank you, Genghis. For you too as well, my friend. Yeah, I don't. It's so fucking weird, Shinatsky. It's just really fucking weird. You talk to my daughter. She's just odd bird. And she's not talking to you right now. And I got to be honest, I'm okay with it right now because she was really annoying the shit out of me. And I love her. I fucking love her to death. God damn, she is just comes off as high maintenance right now. I've been watching a carjacking case that got out of a pit maneuver. Los Angeles, Fox 11. Oh, okay, that one. Okay, gotcha. Yep. See, Dan Schneider supposedly impregnated one of the girls. Also, if you look at the Amanda show, there's a creepy footage fetish thing going on. Yeah, him and fucking Tarantino. At least his is with adult women.
Yeah, Tarantino's foot fetish is just weird.
And by the way, Amanda Bynes has explicitly denied the allegation that former Nickelodeon producer Dan Schneider got her pregnant at age 13, stating that viral TikTok video making these claims are digitally manipulated and created for clickbait. The false narrative was constructed by splicing a recent Instagram story of Bynes with her boyfriend, with archival footage of her as a child star sitting in a hot tub with Schneider from The Amanda Show. While Bynes dismissed these specific claims, Schneider has faced broader sexual misconduct and abuse allegations from other former child stars, which were highlighted in the 2024 docuseries Quiet on the Set. Schneider has consistently denied these accusations, suing the documentary producers themselves for defamation, a lawsuit that judge allowed to proceed in November of 24 after ruling that the documentary could imply he was a child sexual abuser. So that's how
I
that
hate
went.
people do that. Ruining someone's life for attention. That sucks.
Salutations, PJO, Anna Gamma, Gary, Martin Reed, John FKH, that's Tim, and Slasher Fred. Let's see. They had revived shows from Nickelodeon. Well, the new iCarly series, again, woke as shit. Woke in the bad way, not the good way.
Oh, this is so cute. And then he comes up with the fucking TV dinners that just look gross.
Yeah, like the old aluminum foil tin dinner, they're folded up printed tins with the food in it, and they don't even look like they're properly cooked. Okay.
That's something I
Absolutely
will
good
never want to
question,
try.
Tim. Where were the parents? They were putting that money in the bank, is what they were doing.
Yep. It's shameful.
Yeah, so yeah, he's the fat guy in the movie. Read. Yeah, Giga's Gun, you got it. $2. $2. Where my $2? What was it, Eddie Murphy? You get chopsticks, egg roll and fortune cookie, $1.99. What a bargain. I'm glad my mom's dead is about one of those Nick kids. Oh, her situation was fucked up. That's what's her name? McCurdy? The blonde girl from iCarly. Yeah. She wrote a book. I'm glad my mom is dead.
Damn.
When you start reading what she said, and I gotta tell you, I believe her. Because she didn't look for limelight. She left Hollywood. She wanted to get her life. The older brother on iCarly stayed in the show. Yeah, Josh. Even while he made not a lot of money, to simply be, because Drake made a lot more money. At least that's what I saw from the 85 ABC report. I heard Vietnamese American guy from Boston named Peter Kiang say he put a blame on Rambo 2 for spawning these. I don't know what that word is. Attacks.
Yeah, that's what I meant earlier. He's been going on about that stuff around Rambo too. Is that why he's racing down the hill on one ski? That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if that story is even true, dude. Because I'm looking this up right now. There are no results for Vietnamese citizens being attacked in Boston, Massachusetts, by the release of Rambo First Blood Part 2. The context provided identifies two distinct events involving Vietnamese individuals in Boston, but neither are linked to the film. In 1988, Mark Wahlberg assaulted a man, blinding him. He blinded him. And Boston Chinatown Massacre in 91. On January 12, 1991, Hung Tien Pham and accomplices killed 5 men and injured 1 in a Chinatown social club. Pham was a Vietnamese national, and the victims were likely members of his criminal rivals gangs. That's it. I can't find anything else, and nothing related to Rambo. So I don't know what to do for you, buddy. I don't remember it, and I just I'm iffy about that because I would remember something like that. Yeah, I like the way he's dressed, and he's dressed the same way the Beatles were dressed in Help when they did the ski scenes. Jerry Trainer, he and Miranda Cosgrove previously worked on Drake and Josh. Yeah. Boston has always had problems with non-white people. Hey, Tim, you do a lookup and see if you can find anything, because I couldn't find anything about it. No, there's definitely a problem because of that incident. Like the one with Mark Wahlberg was pretty bad, and it's something that he's tried to get expunged from his life because he's so ashamed of what he did. He's done everything he could to pay back for it, including some time, but nobody's ever going to forget that, Marky Mark. Sorry, buddy. Because he did. Yeah, he really did change his life and turn it around. But yeah, that's going to stay with you for life. Get used to it. Cusack was busy after this. There was, I brought this up, Genghis. It is kind of a quasi sequel to this film, written and directed by the same director. And again, based off of a part of his life. So that kind of makes it a quasi sequel. And also has a lot of the same actors in it, including John Cusack. The station wagon in Family Guy is also a Ford LTD wagon. I wonder if that's a nod by McFarlane. Oh, absolutely a nod, because that's his thing, man. That is his thing, doing nods to the 70s and 80s. He had the answers, but couldn't get the questions right. Yep. If Nickelodeon did another revival, they should also bring back one of those classic educational shows like Mr. Wizard's World. Yeah. I sure would like to see a revival. You can't do that on television. The abuses it'll never happen. I don't think it'll ever happen because of what happened previously. Missed opportunity to call the Count from Sesame Street Count. Dyscalculia. I like that already. Sadly, in Hollywood, there are parents who absolutely, and that girl was one of them. When you read her story, that's all her mother did, was whore her out.
Not just in Hollywood, too, because when we were kids, my younger brother went to a casting once because he heard about it in school or something. And man, the people there were just crazy.
One of the cases in the 50s was Natalie Wood. And I'm referring specifically to the Kirk Douglas incident. So, yeah. There was a TV series on Nickelodeon I remember watching called Nick News. I don't remember that. I didn't watch a lot of Nick. I only watched stuff that Zoe watched as a kid. SpongeBob, iCarly, Drake and Josh, and trying to remember, gosh. There was another one about a girl. She watched that religiously, and I really hated it. I couldn't remember what the hell it was called. Who, Schneider? Schneider did make a formal apology for his conduct. I'm so happy at the end when the geek son does fall in love with the nerd girl, even though I hate him as a person. Yeah, I'm right there with you, John. Cusack plays characters that I like. And because they're kind of like the guys I hung out with in school. So it reminds me of either myself or my friends.
He plays very relatable characters.
Yeah. Nickelodeon once did their own version of People's Court called Kids Court, and they also had a comedy series called Don't Just Sit There. I don't remember that at all. And there he is, doing his Howard Cosell. And this is that Rocky moment where he's looking for the girl because that's all that mattered to him. That and surviving the kid wanting his $2. That would require them you'd have to take him to court and prove fault. And there's too many people that could be blamed, that it could be spread out over. Did a quick Google search, can't find anything either. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I'm saying it's likely it didn't happen. Here comes Honey Boo Boo. Good Lord. Oh, God, I fucking hated Honey Boo Boo and her mom. Schneider. Mark. Okay. I want to say Kids Court was a sketch in a show. It sounds like something they would have done on the Amanda Cosgrove show that she did. You can't do that on TV. Was that the name of it? I think that was the name of it. And I'd watch that occasionally with Zoe. But usually when that show came on, I was usually in the kitchen cooking dinner. Yeah, I was not interested in their live action stuff at all. I thought they were stupid. But I really liked iCarly. I enjoyed it. I'll tell you one show I despised was The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody on Disney. I also hated The Wizards of Waverly Place. Fucking couldn't stand those shows. They're so... It felt like today, like it was written by AI. I just like cookie cutter scripts, and they're terrible. Terrible character development. I guess it was already past that age. But that wasn't the only controversy people picketed.
Can we drop Rambo already? We're not even talking about that movie.
Yeah, you're getting chastised, Gambit.
It's just
I like
weird
to
to be
see
so focused on a movie that we're not even talking
at the
about.
end of the movie, you've got this mom who is pushed so hard for him to be with the French girl, and then he meets a girl that's just like him, and he wanders off with her and ignores her. And like all that fucking work you put into that, your relationship with your son, gone in a second. One speaks no English, the other learned English from watching The Wide, Wide World of Sports. That's right, with Howard Cosell, which is the name that I got called a lot as a kid because my name is Cosell.
Read the other half of the comment.
Which is
There's a
better,
question in
speaking
there.
no English at all or speaking Howard Cosell. Well, look, he was a fucking smart guy, and he didn't mind showing off that he was a smart guy. That was my beef with Howard Cosell. But I read all of his books as a kid, and he bloviates. He's like Frasier as a character. Howard Cosell is kind of a caricature of himself. And that's all he was. But I did like him. I liked his sports. He was always wrong in his announcing. I've never heard anybody who could be consistently wrong in his calls. Here goes the rocket leaving the house, flying into space. Doesn't have the booster rocket, it's just the shuttle by itself.
It still looks cool.
It's completely separate standalone television. I don't remember it at all, buddy. Do not remember it. Like back in the 80s, oh man, the only thing I remember in the 80s was Ren and Stimpy, like in 88, 89, and going into the 90s. Oh, wait, what was that? Where are you going? Come back, Ricky. Oh, yeah. Help is, don't get me wrong, Hard Day's Night is a fun movie. But Help is my favorite of the two because it's got an actual fucking plot. Not just his clean uncle stealing all the time, you know, which was funny. Don't get me wrong. Look, it's done by the same director. And, but I felt like Help had a story about a ring that they had to find and had to use it in a sacrifice for their Indian god that they worship. And it's fucking like I guess it's a quasi version of Kali. And
Kalima.
Need somebody help, not just anybody help. Yeah, great song. Howard, you have a firm grasp of the obvious. Absolutely, that is a play on a line said by Sherlock Holmes when he said, Watson, you have a keen sense of the obvious. In the 1970s, when Nickelodeon first began, they had a show called Pinwheel, which was like when I was a kid, the only kids show that I enjoyed watching was Bozo the Clown. And I enjoyed that show that came on Saturday mornings, live action, where they were like in a giant room and it looked like a circus set, but it was a TV show. And they would interact with the kids, and I can't remember what the hell that show is called, but they had an adult who was the host, and they'd have the kids on the show. You get the kids from the audience would come down and do shit. And it was a fun show. I watched it. It was late 70s going into the 80s. I enjoyed that.
That sounds like inspiration for Krusty the Clown.
Without a doubt. Let me look it up real quick. Early... I feel like it's 1979. Late 70s live show for kids on Saturday. It pop up here. They had the Croft Super Show, but that's not it. Not live action. I'm asking live audience. Of kids. Yeah, they're not helping at all. Let me try Google. Google tends to do a better deep dive.
Man, I just had 2 sneezing fits in a row. I think my cat is annoyed with me.
Oh.
She's like, I'm trying to sleep here. Fuck off.
Although they're bringing up some shows here that I really did like as a kid, like Wonder Bug, Dr. Shrinker, Bigfoot and Wild Boy, Captain Cool and the Kongs was fun.
Sorry.
The Croft Super Show itself.
Bless you.
Wonder Rama. There it is. I found it. It's called Wonder Rama. And I watched that as a kid. And see if they have a picture on the page. Nope, they didn't bother. Fuck off. IMDb, here we go. God, man, that show started as black and white. Started in 1955 and ran all the way to 1987. Wonder Rama was one of those shows I like to watch, and I wanted to get tickets to go see it because we lived on the East Coast, and I thought I could go up there, but Dad wouldn't fucking allow it. But this was the show, Wonderama. Would you add it, Martin?
What?
Add it to the screen.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Boom.
This was the show, Wonderama, from 55 to 87. And it's so shocking. I didn't know it was that old watching it as a kid. They don't have any fucking good images from it. That sucks. And I really did like watching his show as a kid because the audience were kids. You know, sitting in, you know, watching the show. And let's see if they got any images from it. Yeah, there it is. Bill McAllister was the host. That was a fun fucking show. And it was sort of an early precursor to the shit they would do on Nickelodeon years later, you know, and where they would drop the green slime on them and shit like that. That show is kind of in that vein. And it was a fun show. Loved that.
Yeah, I
as a
always
kid.
found that gross, the green slime.
The point is correlation is not causation. That's right. And it's a mistake a lot of people do. You know, well, that's the moon was full that night. So that's why all that shit happened that night. You know, it's like, oh, fuck off. You know, correlation means two things that happen at the same time aren't necessarily connected. One happens just before the other. Isn't necessary that it's the cause, you know, and that's one thing. The first thing you learn in science, you know, correlation is not causation. And keep your notes. There have been plenty of attacks on Asians over the years. And some of that violence has been Asians on Asian, too. Like, if you want a good example of some crazy shit with Asian gangs, my God, the Good
Yeah,
Guys.
there are no saints either.
The Good Guys hostage situation up in Sacramento, because I was an EMT up there working on being a paramedic. And I was with Foothill Ambulance at that point, and we got called up there and staged for that. And a lot of people fucking got shot in that incident. SWAT sniper took the shot, but took it when the glass door was at an angle, and he missed. It deflected the round, and they went running along, all the people laying on the ground in front of the windows, and they just shot them, running down, just shooting them as they went on camera. It was live news, crazy shit. If you just type Rambo 2020 report 1985, I'll look that up. Rambo 2020 report 1985. Seven-minute and 38-second video.
That is.
Oh my God. I'm already fucking annoyed with the female reporter trying to remove our guilt. It's like, go fuck yourself. We were in that war because we signed a treaty. We were forced into that by the treaty that we signed. People never want to bring up the treaty. That's why Australia was in the war with us, because they signed the same treaty.
And then you were forced to leave.
We were forced to leave by our own fucking Congress, defunding.
I know.
We got the North Vietnamese to Paris for the Paris peace talks, got them to finally give up and sign a treaty with us so we could fucking stop killing them. And all we had to do was stay there and make sure that they obeyed the treaty. And what does Congress do? They fucking defunded the war. The Democrat-run Congress defunded it. And that caused us to have to retreat and leave. And of course, things fell apart. So people go, you lost Vietnam. No, we didn't. We won it and then gave it up. Excuse me, sir. Would you like to buy a pair of rubber nipples? Oh, God. That's from Ren and Stimpy. No, sir. I don't like it. I like the horse. He was funny. Krascavalusa was another one of them, man. He was a predator. He was grooming an underage girl. Got caught. Destroyed his career. Deserved it. I wish he'd gone to jail for some of the shit he did. And the fact that media program used the movie perceived as conservative to fit into their narrative about racism is nothing new. Yeah, I know. So yeah, I found the account here or the video. I'm trying to go through it here. I'm slowly skipping forward.
For some reason, that made me think of Peter.
Well, the one
Bacon.
lady is right. She is right in this video. She didn't like the fact that they used the POWs. I didn't like that either. It's the reason why I didn't like Missing in Action or Rambo, or Rambo 2, because you want to get them killed, the POW MIAs that might still be alive over there, make movies about them. And that's a good way to get him killed. I don't know that one, buddy. Never heard of that one. My late dad had cable, and so did one of his neighbors. Yeah, I grew up as an antenna kid. No fucking cable. Like I remember when Chris Lindsay says, CNN. I said, I know what it is. I just don't have it. I'm poor. We live on antenna TV. Those of us who grew up in the USA in the 70s and 80s are quite aware of the biases and agendas of programs like 60 Minutes. Yeah, I love the recent firing. Like, there you go. Let's get some of these Marxists out of there and get it a little more fair and balanced. Get some people who share or don't share the same political ideology running shows. Not necessarily my narrative, I might add. My com was from England. What's KOM? What is that, John? Is that a misspelling? I don't know. Oh, mom. My mom is from England. So our family got cable super early in the 80s so she could watch British shows to my benefit. Well, we watched a lot of British shows on antenna TV too because they were on PBS. I grew up on Monty Python, Fawlty Towers, as well as classic British cinema. And it's the only thing I think that I really thought was valuable about PBS. I loved Upstairs, Downstairs, and I loved mystery. I've been watching mystery since I was a child on PBS because they're basically just BBC miniseries that they put on, which is fine. The most Saturday lineup was when you could watch TOS and TAS in the same afternoon if you had cable.
Holy shit.
What? This movie ends.
We lost Anthony Head.
What?
Anthony Head, the guy who played Giles in Buffy.
I know. He wasn't even that old, like 70 or something.
No, fuck.
No, I saw it last night. I talked about it earlier, honey. I brought that up to you that he's dead before the show. What? I went, oh shit.
You talked about a lot of dead people.
Yeah, I know. You got all fucking weirded out like so many people. It's life.
Yeah, because
part of life.
We are hanging out. We are hanging out, and everybody we're talking about is fucking dead. That was depressing.
Yeah, but it's gonna be like that from now on.
Yeah, I know. What are you whining about? It's just Like, man, I've lost people I fucking cared about and like even knew in Hollywood. It's like just fucking happens. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Gosh golly. Yeah. Slam. Yeah. All right. Here you go. Slam that like button like you would slam an Irish car bomb in a bar.
Oh my.
It's a drink.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to slam it. It ends in Dodger Stadium. That's right. I like that scene. It's weird because nowhere in the film is it about a baseball team or anything. It just ends at a fucking baseball stadium. But I like it. It's visual. It's a happy ending. Not to be mistaken with the one you get from your Korean or Vietnamese masseuse.
You have to.
That Dodger. Never heard of it. It's already in a lot of people's minds. The minute you say happy ending, boom, it's there. It triggers me. Never heard of it. Must not have been syndicated to South Florida. Nickelodeon once did a soap opera called 15 with a very young Ryan Gosling. Was that before or after the Young Adventures of Hercules? Which he felt bad. He felt like that was his fault that show failed. The cap is pretty cute. She's adorable in anything she's in. She was such a cute girl. Old cable used to have tons of stations in the early 80s. Yeah, baby. My favorite station growing up, and we've had one of the hosts on here twice, is Richard Dizell. And he was during weekdays, Monday through Friday, he was Captain 20 and he looked like Spock. He had the pointed ears and he hosted cartoons in the afternoon after school, also before school. And then on Saturdays, he was the host, horror host of Creature Feature as Count Gore Duvall. And he's one of the few classic horror film hosts still alive, the original. And he's still doing it. I love it. I love it. And hold on, let me find that for you. Count Gore, the Ball Creature Feature, because he has his own channel. I'm going to share it with you guys right now. So if you want to check out his channel and some of his new videos, subscribe to it. Highly recommend it. Also, you can go to his actual website, which is Count Gore, Gore, countgore.com. So here it is. Count Gore Duvall. There you go. That's his channel on YouTube. And he's always posting new stuff. And you can also follow him on Facebook. And I might reach out to him for this Halloween to have him back again, because I just love having him on. He's such a great guy. He really is. And we're still recording the last time I had him on. We recorded the interview with him. And it was, God, that was a great interview. Keith was having such a good time talking to him. He's a part of television history, man. I miss those days when we had horror hosts. Oh, God, Hammer's cartoon was awful, but yeah, I remember it. I agree with you on the point of correlation. Yeah, correlation, that's the problem. You have to always make sure that people don't follow that process, because that's the quickest way to fuck up. Now, it's not saying that the correlation isn't connected, but you have to use the scientific method to find out. No show Hammerman was on ABC or CBS or NBC. Well, thanks for throwing up the three major networks as your answer. Probably get the late 70s to early 80s mixed together because I was fairly young back then. Star Trek, the original series and the animated series. And actually, a lot of people don't know this, is that the Star Trek series and animated series fulfilled all 5 years of their mission. Because you got 2 seasons of Star Trek, the animated series, which was 5 total seasons, 5 years. So I like that. I'm watching new shows and old shows syndicated, but haven't seen any of the before, so it was all new. Not really knowing if it was new or syndicated when you're 10 years old. Absolutely, like that's something you don't care about. Considering that Congress defunded the operation, yeah. It's like all we had to do at that point was police. That's it. Combat was over. All we had to do was police. They couldn't. They needed a law, and that's what they've intentionally done for decades now. All right, I'm muting you, hon. They needed that loss so they could alter the information and say they lost Vietnam, which is why so many people on the left think the United States lost Vietnam. They said, no, we didn't. We won it and then gave it up. And we're forced to leave by our own Congress because they're assholes. Watergate. Oh, it was absolutely. I got to tell you something. Correlation doesn't mean causation. But when you see something where every single member of the Watergate break-in team are all either former or active members of the CIA, every single one of them, he did not know about he never gave the order. All he did is he tried to cover it up. And he got some bad advice. I can relate, John Whitaker. I was a bit younger because Trek was rerun fairly early after the cartoon blocks. I'm old enough to remember the original series when it was on. Cable is definitely a luxury item. Absolutely. I definitely got cable later. But I remember when there weren't all that many channels. Like, I remember it was such a huge thing because, like, one of the cable boxes we got had a switch on it on top and a series of buttons, and you would switch to something and the buttons were other channels. Then you do another switch and that were more channels. And it led to that one song by, what's his name? Bruce Springsteen. I don't like the song. Was it 57 channels and nothing on? Was that it? I think it's 57 channels and nothing on. And I hated the song. I got to be honest. Fucking Bruce Springsteen's a terrible songwriter. He wrote one song that I thought was worth a damn, and he's not the one who released it. It was released by Manfred Mann and the Earth Band. Let's see. Just find the part where Pete King steps into the camera and tells the reporter about what occurred. Yeah, I got a feeling somebody lied. I watched Doctor Who on Channel 45 from Miami. And I can't do it right now, Gambit. I really can't because I'm hosting the show and we got to wrap it up here. I went to a thrift store once and found an old slider box. What the fuck is that? I don't know what that is. What is that? What's a slider box? Yeah, I didn't know how rare it was to have cable as a kid in the late 70s and 80s. So I just got to see so many shows as a kid. My birthday is on the day HBO first aired. Nice. So same for my mom, John. She's more of a casual. The one that's like 12 pounds and goes from 0 to 99 and you slide it. Oh, that's a seminal memory of early childhood. I never saw those. I never saw that one. Help Al Gore's rhythm. Is Al Gore's rhythm anything like the rhythm method? C.Y. Kernan from The Fix sings the song at the end of the movie. Oh, there was a wood grain model. Now I remember
the fans of her.
Yeah, the one we got was fake wood grain, and it had the buttons on it and a switch to switch from one group of channels to the next group of channels and next group of channels. Wait, what's this? Go to the 438 mark video.
Can we move past that topic?
Yes, please.
Allegations. Immediately, allegations. Like, okay, probably was found out not to be true, but don't let 60 Minutes not use it. Good. And 48 Hours was no better. Go to the 438 mark. Okay, I already did. Peebo Bryson died earlier this week. Oh, no. Seriously? I didn't hear that.
Oh, I thought you knew.
No. Because I brought him up about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Because I thought it was him doing that one song, but it wasn't. From the Fievel movie. I did not know he passed away. Look at that. Wow. Good singer, though. Really good singer. Yes, it was a metal box. This is the OG cable box. All right. MC Hammer was on ABC, like all the music ones. Okay, makes sense. Cartoon ABC. German meow.
Yeah.
Oh shit, Read by Nature. I just went and looked when you posted that.
About Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony had, yeah.
Complications from pneumonia.
Pneumonia is nothing to trifle.
It was not the affair itself. It was his attempt to cover it up, as well as the fact that it was discovered of his recording all conversations, which is weird because a lot of presidents have done that. It's not weird for a matter of historical record. Yeah, it was said that the deep state, that was the second major thing they did, the deep state. The first one being the killing of John Kennedy. To me, the most important part of having cable as a kid, it meant to get to see multiple pro wrestling shows. There you go. I had to go to my buddy's house to watch wrestling events for the most part. And my biological mother worked for a cable company in the 70s. I got to see the first HBO movie, which had an intermission, which was A Bridge Too Far. Good movie. A lot of seminal memories. Many involved Diane Franklin and E.G. Daly. You know who else had a lot of seminal memories? Hugh Hefner.
Yes.
What?
I guess.
Probably all of the guys that own dirty magazines have seminal memories. A Bridge Too Far is exceptionally good film. It should surprise no one that it had a formidable cast. Yeah, and I love the movie. We've covered it on here. It just that's a great fucking movie. Some of the best moments in that film, like stay with me to this day, like when Sean Connery shoots that German through the window while he's in that house with a wounded soldier, and German runs by and then comes back like, did I just see somebody inside? He goes, yeah, you did. And he shoots him. I'm like, that was fucking cool. To the scene where they did take some artistic liberty with this, which is he did say the British officer said, tell them to go to hell. And they took some liberty by the joke being, I'm sorry, we don't have the facilities to take you all prisoner. But thank you. Will there be anything else? That's a great moment in the movie. David Frost did a radio show cover a fair bit of Nixon's recordings. And if you ever got a chance to hear all of his the interview, it's a really good interview. And I think that if you give him a fair chance listening to him, you get a better understanding of who Nixon was. And I met Hugh Hefner once at a club in New York City. He was wielding an oxygen bottle and had a bevy of fucking hot women behind him. Oh, God, yeah. You know it. He was cool enough to talk with us for a while. That's so cool. Man, yeah. And a lot of people don't know this, that Hugh Hefner had his own TV show back in the day. It was made for TV, regular TV, back in the late 50s. It was about being a playboy. And damn good show.
What could he know about that?
Yeah, what would he know about that? So, but that's it, guys. This movie is one to check out. You might like it, you might not like it. But it is well worth it to at least have seen it and be able to say that you know that it's a cult movie, that it's a huge cult following, huge fan base, and that it is beloved by a lot of people. And that's because it was kind of the first movie of its kind. Now, Cusack did a really bad one that I didn't like very much. That called, I think it was called Hot Pursuit, and I did not like that movie. And what was that? Like, God damn, I'm going to go find it real quick because Hot Pursuit is a film that most people don't know, and
I don't know about it.
Came out in the '80s in between all these movies. And he did Sure Thing, Better Off Dead was his next film. He did Journey of Natty Gann, which is actually a pretty good film. Then he was in Stand By Me, small. And then he was in One Crazy Summer the next year. And then following that, he did Hot Pursuit, which is a very lower score than those films. It's got a 5.8. That doesn't mean it's horrible, but it's also got Drew Struzan. And so I'll share it real quick. Martin, if you want to share it with everybody when I add it. There we go. Drew Struzan poster. And in the film, Dan arrives too late for his girlfriend's family's plane to the Caribbean. He gets the next flight. Once there, Dan's hot pursuit of his girlfriend includes 3 friendly locals, a dubious yacht skipper, corrupt police, hijackers, and pirates. And it is just, I couldn't get into it. And Tom Mankiewicz, by the way, was one of the writers. You know who Tom Mankiewicz is?
No.
Well, it's part of the Mankiewicz family of screenwriters. And I do believe his son, let me look that up real quick, because I think it's his son that hosts Turner Classic Movies. Nope. Nope, I guess he didn't have children. I thought he did. Well, then his nephew is the host of TCM, at least was. Looks like everybody's been fired from there now that TCM's been purchased. Netflix is gonna fucking destroy TCM. One more reason I fucking hate Netflix. Because Turner Classic Movies not only purchased like a huge library of these classic movies, they restored them, helped with the restoration, and they would show them with hosts before and after the film to tell you information about the movie and the people that worked on it. And I fucking love that. And I felt they did a better job than what AMC did, because they kind of did the quasi same thing with George Clooney's dad, Nick Clooney. Nick Clooney would host those things. And of course, he's deep into Hollywood. He passed away. But Nick Clooney was, a lot of people don't know this, that George Clooney and Nick Clooney were related to Jose Ferrer through marriage, Miguel Ferrer, well as, oh my God, the great singer, Irish American singer. She's in the movie Airplane. Rosemary Clooney. They're all related through marriage. And Nick is one of the Clooneys. And George Clooney is his son. And I got to meet Nick Clooney a couple times because he was a graduate of the University of Illinois. And so whenever there was a alumni function, he was going to be there. And of course, I was living with that elderly couple, taking care of them because she was a stroke victim. He had Parkinson's. So I got to go to these things and I got to meet people. And it was really fucking cool meeting Nick Clooney. I really liked him. But TCM was better at it. And if you've never watched those intro outros for the movies on TCM, you've missed a lot because, man, they did some great breakdowns. Mankiewicz was a killer on that show. And I can't believe that Netflix is going to do away with that shit. Fuck Netflix, man. All right, that's it. I'm going to fucking end this here. I remember when people were upset about colorization. Somebody made fun of it the other day that Ted Turner, they should make a movie about Ted Turner. And the guy posted the actor he felt that should play Ted, a very well-known actor should play Ted Turner. And my response to it was, I said, yeah, but they should shoot it in black and white and then colorize it. A biopic about Ted Turner in black and white and color it. Fuck you guys. Oh, Tom Mankiewicz, that's the writer from Superman. Yep, Live and Let Live, or Live and Let Die, and The Man with the Golden Gun. Yep. Like, what is she referring to? And I'm confused. Oh man, that's tough.
Only he knows.
No idea.
Anima, hello.
Yes.
Anima?
I don't know.
Okay.
Are you hearing?
So, yeah, I heard you. You don't know. Okay. All right. All right. We're the fuck out of here, guys. I hope, I don't know. I had fun talking about today. I really do like this movie, despite the fact that others don't like it. That's okay. This movie wouldn't have happened without the Fonz. I think that's awesome. And that he paid Savage Steve Holland to write it. Oh, rented an office for him. Everything out of his own pocket. And I think that's wonderful. I just love shit like that. So I didn't mind the colorization of Angels with Dirty Faces. I am not a fan of colorizing black and white films.
Whoa.
Because
they colorized that one?
Yeah.
Damn.
Angels with Dirty Faces, the Humphrey Bogart.
Oh.
It usually looks weird when they do that.
It does, and I don't like it. Now, look, if you colorize the black and white Doctor Who episodes, that's different because that was all that they had available. They couldn't afford color. So that's different. But a lot of films were chosen because color existed. And color was usually specifically chosen for certain kinds of films. And others not. And this went on into the 60s because there's still black and white films coming up in the 60s. And they were chosen to do it. A lot of times for creative reasons, sometimes it's for budgetary reasons. But leave it alone, Ted Turner. I also made the joke that if they do make a biopic about him, they got to leave out the whole Jane Fonda years because nobody's going to fucking want to watch that. 1996, don't forget. And the BBC, the Big Black Cock, added extra stuff instead of just coloring it. Yeah. I also liked it when they found some old episodes that were missing scenes, but they had the audio. And so they had an animator come in and do flash style animation to fill in where video was missing. So you could get to watch these episodes all the way from beginning to end. And with the parts that were missing, they replaced them. And apparently I heard they found some more. missing episodes. So I'm looking forward to when those get released. I saw some colorizations of the film. The worst one is The Thing. Even though I have a copy of it, I hated the colorization of The Thing. I really did. Wedding of the Kaiser's daughter in Ernst August of Braunschweig in 1913. Last bit of imperial pomp before the war. Cool. All right, we are out of here, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. It's fun talking about this film. And by the way, I love this art by Drew. And there's not a day that goes by that I forget that he's dead. And I have to remind myself that he's dead. I fucking hate that. And it's not just him, it's other people that I've been friends with over the years from Hollywood that have passed away that I can't write anymore. Like, just bugs me. Anyway, we'll talk to you later, guys. Have a happy Saturday, man. Or Friday.
Bye.
Friday.
See you tomorrow.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Matt Damon.